Landon, I know you've been thinking about this week and working for it, for the better part of your entire life. But now that it's here, what's been the emotion at the forefront of your mind that you've been thinking about?
I think the emotion, right now, I think it's more of just seeing where we're going to be. I think I'm just, I don't think it's really hit me yet. But I think for the most part, I'm just trying to just, check box each, step along the way, all the way up until the draft. I have a couple of papers I got to write. I have, a couple of presentations. So I think being in school has definitely helped with like not really thinking about it too much, but I think it's definitely going to hit me definitely on Thursday and all the way through Saturday. So, I'm definitely excited. I think I'm definitely excited, a little bit of anxious, a little anxious for it, but it'll be a good time. So I'm extremely excited for it, no doubt.
We kind of cheated on this one, but I loved your answer that you gave, so I wanted you to share it again. You're in this position because of how hard you work. You've quite literally turned yourself into an NFL prospect in front of our very eyes. Why do you work as hard as you do?
Yeah, Tim actually asked me this question in the gym the other day, and while I was working out. I think I work this hard because just for my family, right? For myself, for my family, and just all the just wanting to be something greater than myself and do something very great in this world. And so I think I just always just wanted to work and always put in the work to someday. I didn't necessarily know that I'd be a draftable guy or be even going to the NFL, but it's something that I've always wanted and something that I've always dreamed I would have. So I just knew that putting in the hard work, it'll get you somewhere in life, and that's something that I've always stuck true to. And I'm just thankful to God for putting me in this position and giving me the work ethic to get to where I am. So yeah, I think that's why I work so hard, just for myself, my family, and just wanted to be something great. So
Love it. Last thing I got for you. As the draft gets closer, what's it like for somebody in your position where every trade you see, you might wonder to yourself, does this affect me? Most recently, Dexter Lawrence going from the Giants to the Bengals, and you're sitting there and you think, well, would this have any impact on my draft stock? How do you process things like that?
yeah, you just have to take it for what it is, right? You've put in all the hard work to get to this point, and you've done all you can do, right? So you see these things, you see the different trades, and you know that whatever they're thinking in there, you've done all you can do to put yourself in the best position. So obviously, the Bengals picked up a D tackle, but maybe they're going to pick up another one. Maybe they'll pick up two more. You never know what they're thinking, but all you can do is just focus on what you've done and what you've done to set yourself up for success. So that's all I've been thinking about, and just knowing that I've done everything I can do. So I'm excited for this weekend.
Thank you.
For those of you just joined us, we're doing three questions each, and I'll go around the horn and call on everyone, so you don't need to raise your hand or anything. Scott Wyckoff.
Yeah, Landon, what has it been like for you as the interest in you has increased from the Shrine Bowl, from the pro day, from, getting together with these different teams? What has it been like as interest has grown with you kind of step by step in this process?
Yeah, every step of the way, you have to continue to prove yourself because you go through the season, you have a good season. We go 11-2, defensive player of the year, All-American, all these things. That's great, right? But it really doesn't prove anything to that next level at that point. That's why, you hopefully get an invite to the All-Star game. And you go there and you show out there, right? And then that unlocks another door to go to the pro day, and then you go and you prove yourself more at the pro day. And it's just each step of the way is important, and you can't get complacent with having just a good season or having just a good all-star game. You have to continue to prove yourself, because that's what, especially coming from a school that's not as big, or not SEC or whatever, not Big Ten. You really have to make sure you're checking all those boxes and proving yourself each step of the way, to make sure that you're telling those teams that you can play at the next level. So that's really all I've been trying to do, is just continue to prove myself, and just make sure that I'm putting myself in the best position for this week.
How cool is it on the pro day to do what you did and to perform like you did, and then to have teams there asking you to do more during that day itself?
Yeah, it means everything, and that's why you're there, is to showcase your abilities. So them asking for more, that can only mean something good, right? So being able to show that versatility as a defensive lineman and possibly a fullback, that's something that I can definitely bring to a team, and it just shows that versatility to be able to just be put anywhere, right? So yeah, it was super cool being able to talk to the teams that showed up for pro day, and that's what you work for, is just to have that interest. So it was super cool.
And what was it like for you trying to find the right representation to kind of help lead you through this whole process now, step by step?
Yeah, throughout the whole season, really. As soon as I became a senior, you have different agents and people reaching out to you, and different representation of people that want to represent you, and you have to make sure that you're sorting through that the right way, and you're really making sure who you want to represent you has the right morals, values, the characteristics that you want to be represented, because they obviously represent you. So just making sure that you're talking to them. And for me, it was quite a bit of people reaching out, so just making sure that I'm talking to them and making sure that I get to know them as a person before I make that decision. So yeah, it was a really cool process, though. Being able to speak with different agencies and get that interest was super sweet and unique.
Thanks.
Thank
Tim,
you.
Tim Nolan. I'm sorry. Wags. Sorry, I lost track there. Wags.
Landon, what do you think has been the single most valuable or most important thing that you've done leading up to the draft that increased your stock? Was it the East West Shrine Bowl? Was it your performance at Navy Pro Day, or something else that maybe we're not aware of?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think it's all three. I think it was, you have to have a good season, right? And then you have to, have really good statistics, right? Because you got to have the production to show that you can play. And then obviously the All-Star game, and then the pro day. I think you have to prove yourself at each step of the way, because if you slip up on one of them, they're probably not going to look at you much longer. So I think each one of those has a benefit and importance in and of itself. So you should have to focus on each step and just dominate each one in order to get as much interest as you possibly can. So I think, yeah, you can't really just pick one. I think you got to make sure you're dominating all of them.
I believe it may have been right after your Navy Pro Day, the weekend after, you went up to Pittsburgh and spent some time with Aaron Donald, got to meet him in person. He actually kind of worked with you a little bit. And what was that experience like? Because I know his name has come up a lot in reference to you as someone that you're similar to in terms of the stature. Was that a cool experience? And kind of talk to us a little bit about how that came about.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So Eli Heidenreich, obviously my teammate, who's also possibly going to be in the draft as well. He is from Pittsburgh, and he worked out with Aaron Donald's trainer as a kid. He has his contact information. He knows him very well. So during the season, well, a long time ago, Eli had told me that he had seen Aaron Donald and worked out with his trainer, and he was like, "Dude, you're like the same size as him. Like, you guys are very similar." And I was like, "Thank you, thank you." But as we become, more and more upon the draft and everything, he like reached out to me and was like, "Hey, Landon, like, do you want to, have the opportunity to meet Aaron Donald, or at least train with his trainer?" Right? And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely, that'd be great." And Eli sent me over his contact, and I reached out to him, and I got in contact with him. We talked a few times. He's a really cool trainer, Coach D Brown. He's awesome. He's over in Pittsburgh, and I went. So we set up the coordination to meet during our spring break, and I went to Pittsburgh, and we trained, had a couple sessions, and I can see, just from those sessions, why Aaron Donald was so great, because it was very tough. A lot of hard work we put in there, but it was great. It was awesome. And then it just so happened that same weekend, Aaron Donald was going to be in Pittsburgh doing a camp with I think one of his foundation, I believe. So Coach D Brown was like, "Hey man, like, stick around. I think you can meet AD." And I was like, "Sweet, we'll see what we can do." And so I stuck around, and I was able to meet him, thankfully. But that was a super cool experience, and it's helped me, I think, a little bit throughout my process so far, just being able to see how similar in stature we are. And a few scouts have brought that up and said like, "Oh, you look just like him," or you guys are the same size, because obviously him and I are both undersized, defensive tackles. So being able to see he's done it and made it work. So being able to be of his stature has kind of helped me out.
So, in terms of the interviews, I know that a big part of this process is NFL teams either having you at their facility or maybe coming to Navy, or even if it's Zoom, whatever the case may be. But the interview process is critical. And those of us who are on these Zooms with you over the years know how well spoken you are. Do you think that's kind of where you can really knock it out of the park? The fact that you're such a thoughtful guy, a well spoken guy. Do you think these interviews are just a home run opportunity for you?
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, absolutely. I think that being able to, communicate well is something that the Naval Academy teaches you from day one. Being able to speak well, being able to, pronunciate your words, all those things. I think that's something that the Naval Academy teaches you in just terms of being a good leader and being just leadership in general. So I think that's the interviews is what Eli and I, we specialize in, if you will. And I think it's important you making sure that you know what you're talking about, right? Making sure you're knowing what the play calls, being able to absorb information and then being able to regurgitate it and then write it down and tell the coaches what they want to hear is super important. So I think the Naval Academy has prepared us for that, and throughout our entire time here, and we definitely are very good at the interviews, no doubt.
Thomas, Christopher.
Hey, Landon. So obviously it's been a long football career, man. You're kind of coming to the culmination of it. Going through this draft process now, everything becomes a lot shorter in time frame, right? So has there been anything that has stood out to you that perhaps you were not expecting during this process, or something that surprised you?
Yeah. I think I just didn't understand how thorough this process was. Watching Ray Lane go through it last year, I was more of just like, okay, you have a good season, and you're a good player, and then a few months later the draft happens, right? And I couldn't be more, wrong on that thing. So it's just different processes, the different steps, like I talked about earlier. You have a good season, you do well, you have good production there, and then you go to the All-Star game, and that kind of shows how you can play versus the best in the country, right? And then you move on to the next step, and you have your pro day, and like how has your film translated to the numbers that you're going to get, right? So all of those things just really take a big, they all are lumped into one big process, and which shows the teams that you can play at the next level. So I did not understand that this time last year. So I think that's what surprised me the most.
Yeah, and speaking of those All-Star games, obviously your stock kind of blew up, after the East-West Shrine Bowl, going into your pro day. Obviously, a lot of football fans knew about you, but now more casual fans know about you, and you went viral. So how was that experience? Like, how did you take that all in and stay level-headed at the same time?
Yeah, like you just said, you got to be level headed, and you have to be able to just take each step as a moment in time that you have to dominate. And you can't be like, oh, okay, I had a great, East West Shrine Bowl. Okay, the pro day, I don't need to work hard for that. Like that'll just come naturally. You can't do that. You have to make sure you're staying focused, staying dialed in on what your job is next. It's what's always coming next. What's coming next? But as soon as you get complacent, that's when you're going to get passed up. So I think just being focused, staying dialed in, I think that's how you stay level headed, and just knowing that you can always get better. You can always improve yourself in some form or fashion.
And previously, earlier in this conversation, you talked about, wanting to be an NFL player, pursuing your dream, not just for your family, but for yourself as well. But your family's been very supportive throughout your football journey. Can you just talk about how they've helped shaped you as the player and person you are as you're kind of reaching the culmination of your football journey into the pros?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. My mom, my brothers, my dad, they have just been supportive my entire life with every sport that I've played. When I was in high school, I did track, baseball, wrestling. So all those sports, they were always there supporting and driving me if I needed to get driven there and just be there for me. So having that transition into my collegiate career and just seeing them, my mom be at every single game, my brothers being there when they can, and same with my dad. It just means a lot, and just being able to have this opportunity to play at the next level is something that's very unique, and I think it's only because of all the support that they've given me throughout my entire life. So I'm extremely thankful to them for sure.
Jeffrey Williams.
So, Landon, there's a lot of mock drafts, a lot of stuff written about you. Do you pay any attention to any of that?
I think you look on Twitter and you see these mock drafts and you see all these things, And I think it's cool to see your name on someone's list, but you can't put too much, emphasis on that. That's just someone's opinion. They're not in the draft rooms. They're not the GM. They're not making any of those decisions. But it's cool to see that you have a certain stock. You have a certain want to be on a team's roster. So I think it's definitely cool, and it's definitely nice to see your name. But at the same time, you got to be level headed and be like, for sure.
And then what are your expectations heading to the draft?
Yeah, I think my expectations are, like I said, I've done everything that I can do to set myself up for hopefully a good draft. So I'm just expecting to sit there and be with my family, and we'll see what happens. You really can't have any expectations really, because you never know, what can happen. But I'm just excited to be with my family in the moment and just being able to watch it and see what happens. So
thank you.
All right, we've got about 15, 16 minutes left. We'll do 2 questions each this time around. Tim Nolan.
Yeah, Landon, what's it like knowing that many of these other guys who are anticipating hearing their names called this weekend, they're probably not worried about class right now? You said earlier how you still got a couple papers you have to write, you still have exams to worry about. What's it like knowing that up until quite literally the day you might hear your name called, you're going to be still going to school here at Navy?
It's unique, and I take pride in it. Knowing that I go to the Naval Academy and I'm still able to make this happen is something that's what you take pride in. That's what you strive for, is the opportunity to still be going to class and having your name called, hopefully. So I just take it as, I don't take it as a weakness or any kind. I think it's unique and it's something that's very cool. So yeah, I take it as a form of pride that we're able to be in school and still have this opportunity happen.
As this process has progressed, what's been your favorite interaction you've had with maybe a classmate or somebody in your company as they get to know what you're embarking on and that your journey is a little different from what a lot of people end up commissioning and do here at Navy?
Yeah, no doubt. There's a lot of questions for sure, on a daily basis, just about, what's the process look like? What's the next steps? What happens if you get picked up? All these different things. But my company, the eight ballers, we call ourselves, they've been super supportive, and they're great people. We're one big family, and just having the opportunity to, be with them still throughout this process is just something that's very cool. Because probably we won't be together much longer, being a senior and graduating soon, and maybe going to rookie mini camp. So I'm just absorbing all of this time together as we're together. But they've been super supportive, and I love them like a family. So they're awesome.
Thanks, Landon.
Yeah, I would venture to say that Landon and Eli are on a very short list of people who are still taking classes that will be drafted this weekend. Scott, what?
And to that end, Landon, what has it meant for you to go through this process all the way through the season and all the way through everything you've done in the postseason, side by side, almost every step of the way with Eli?
It's super cool, being able to have a teammate that you can bounce, ideas off of, and being able. We were in the same room during the East-West Shrine Bowl, so we kind of started this postseason journey together. So being able to, see how he's doing, keep each other updated on different updates that may happen with teams and who we're talking to, it's just super cool. And it's he's a great teammate, he's a great guy, and couldn't be a better teammate to be going through with this. So it's awesome.
What did it mean for you on your pro day to have seemingly the entire team surrounding you for each and every drill that you did, cheering you on and so into it?
It was awesome. It shows the brotherhood, right? It shows that the brotherhood is real and it's very much kicking. So it was awesome. And it shows just the support from my teammates, my coaches, the parents, everyone that was there, and everyone that was cheering us on. It just shows the support and just shows how much they care for not only us, but the brotherhood and Navy football as a whole. So it was awesome.
Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Should be noted that only once has Navy had 2 players drafted in the NFL draft. That was back in 1956. George Welsh and Ron Beagle were drafted. Wags.
It's a long time ago, Strauss.
It was.
I wasn't even alive.
Huh?
I wasn't even alive.
I wasn't either.
Landon, Bob Kuberski. He was drafted by the Green Bay Packers in the 7th round in 1993. Great Navy player. He is the last defensive lineman, actually was a defensive tackle as well, interior guy. Do you know about Bob Kuberski? He's around. He goes to Navy games. I'm not sure if you're at all familiar with him.
Yeah, I've heard his name before, and he's obviously a great player. So I don't know too much about him, but I've heard about him. So no, he's definitely a great person, great player.
Where are you planning to watch the draft and with whom? I know your mother isn't going to be far from you. Where are you planning to watch the draft, Landon?
Yeah, not at all. My mom's probably gonna be, we're probably gonna be knee to knee, to be honest. But no, I'll be back home in Ohio. I'm driving back home or flying back home. Sorry, this Friday. So I'll be back home. We'll watch the day 2 and day 3 together with family and friends. I think we're going to a restaurant over in Ohio somewhere. We'll just be there, so it'll be a good time.
Can you promise us you will not get a lift in before your flight and that you will get on your flight on time?
No, no promises, no promises. I'll make the flight for sure.
Thomas, Christopher.
Going through this process throughout your career, everyone kind of has that self-evaluating point, right, where they think that this is going to be for real. What was that point for you where like, oh, this dream of mine is actually obtainable?
Yeah, I think it was probably at the Commanders local day. I think just recently, it was like it was probably about a couple weeks ago now. I went there with a few of my teammates, and before then, it was always like, okay, like you're working toward this, and possibly it could happen, but you never know. And I still don't know right now. But at the local day, the Commanders, they showed a lot of interest, and I got the chance to talk to their head coach, got the opportunity to talk to they're obviously the defensive line coach and everyone there, and they were super invested in me as a player, and just and just telling me how much they liked what I did in the past and what they were looking to do in the future. And so it was, I think at that moment I got a little emotional when I was there with them, and just seeing that this could happen. So so I think at that point I was like, okay, like this is real. So
Oh yeah. And then my last one is what can you tell fans or anybody listening, like what is an NFL team going to get in Landon Robinson?
yeah, no, that's a great question. I think an NFL team is going to get, first and foremost, a great leader, right? Someone off the field that can grow the team, someone that's been, had been developed in the Naval Academy with like ability to lead, and so the leadership, being able to grow people off the field, a good teammate, in the locker room, someone that's going to be pick up after themselves, someone that's going to lift people up, right? And then obviously on the football field, being able to be a dog, be someone that the coaches can rely on to go make a play, by using my speed, my quickness, my natural leverage to get underneath blocks, and just go make a play and just be disruptive. I think that's what a team can look forward to in me.
Thanks, Landon. Good luck, man.
Thank you.
Jeffrey Williams.
So, Landon, I guess, what teams have expressed an interest? What teams have you interviewed with so far?
Yeah, no, there's been a lot of teams. I have a list on my phone that I've been just keeping track of and just stacking. But I think all the local teams, the Commanders, Ravens, Eagles, Jaguars, Texans, Bengals, Browns, Lions, a lot of teams for sure. Just to keep it short, but yeah, no, all those teams have reached out and they've shown interest. But you never know until the day actually comes, what they're really thinking. So I'm super excited. I had a Zoom call with the Bears this past weekend. So a lot of teams are interested, but you never know, like I said, until this week. So excited to see where I go.
That's all I have. Good
Thank
luck.
you.
Landon, what percentage of teams are looking at you at D line compared to fullback?
Yes. I'd say probably like 90-10. I'd say about 90% is defensive tackle, and then 10% at fullback. I think the Bills, I think, were the only team that really saw me as a true fullback, but the rest of them are pretty much D tackle. So
Gotcha. Thank you.
Actually, that reminds me. Special teams. Have any of them brought up special teams in your interviews?
They have not brought that up, but I always bring it up, right? Just that versatility and just being able to, if they need me, I'm willing to get out there. So I always bring it up and just make sure that they know that whatever they need me at, I'm there. So
Did you bring up that your average 28 yards a carry in college on
I told him I told the Rock a few times. I told him that. I was like, hey, if you ever need me to run down the field, I told him about kickoff my sophomore year. So whatever they need me at, the team's going to get a versatile player, no doubt.
Does anyone else have anything for Landon? All right. Thanks a lot, Landon. Thanks, everyone.
Of course. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.